Wow, this is great. Extra, extra, read all about it. I can hardly keep up with all the dialogue and attitude right from the get-go.
Excuse me, and who are you?
Hey, I get to ask the questions. I am a reporter following up on some of Luke's findings and faith writings from long ago. And who are you?
I am a robber, same as him, and I wish Luke had kept his findings and his writings to himself.
What do you mean?
Look, I'm a simple man. I like simple logic. 4 out of 4 gospel writers report 2 criminals being crucified with Jesus, 2 robbers, one on his left, one on his right. 3 out of those 4 gospel writers even go as far as to say those crucified with him reviled him. Luke and his sources somehow got close enough to hear me mock Jesus, and then to also hear last second Johnny over here cry out to Jesus.
Don't you think I had something to do with this, with how Luke's sources got close enough?
My Lord, I am so glad you got close enough to me that day. There I was, suffering the just sentence for my unjust actions. The crowd was yelling and shouting and getting more and more violent among themselves with every exchange. I thought my last breath could not come quick enough. And then you amazed me by telling me it was not too late to call on your grace.
Sorry to back up in this story a little bit, but I'm really just getting started at this whole reporter bit. I need to confirm my sources and my findings. So you, Mr. Outspoken, the one not feeling so accountable, let me understand this. You had a chance to talk to Jesus as your death approached and as your life was passing before you, and you joined the crowd instead of calling on Jesus to save you. Am I hearing you correctly?
Instant satisfaction, self-gratification. The world owes us nothing, and it ain't gonna hand it to us free of charge. I figured if I put Jesus and his power on notice to save himself and us, at least maybe I might score some possible rescue points with the crowd.
You wanted instant satisfaction, self-gratification, only you had no idea.
You wanted me to save you, really.
Just from the cross.
How did you end up on that cross anyway?
I was always questioning things. Skeptical first, hesitant second, cautious third. Doubting my life could change. Believing my life was not worth changing. This was my normal starting point. I was always searching for the next opportunity for life to feel fair. If it wasn't given to me, I was going to take it.
You still do not get it. That is what was being given to you on the cross that day. Something you did not deserve. There for the taking. There for the receiving.
Look, all I wanted was down. To be honest, I didn't know out was possible. I didn't know safety was an option. I didn't know hope was hanging beside me, ready and waiting to be given to me.
Yet that is what was being given to me. That is the grace God was giving the world. Even with his hands bleeding like mine, even with his body confined to the cross that dark early afternoon, his spirit reached out to me and took hold of me. I felt a warmth, a welcome. There he was, his arms outstretched to wrap me up and hold me close. Talk about instant satisfaction, instant gratification, instant hope, instant paradise.
My hope was instantly restored when I heard these words, Jesus, remember me when you come into your kingdom. I could do no other than announce for Luke's sources and for all to hear. Truly I tell you, today you are with me in paradise.
What kind of paradise was Jesus offering for you that day?
More than the Jews of the day expected.
You lost me.
Even then, the most faithful Jews of the day defined paradise as a temporary lodging place prior to the resurrection. There was nothing temporary about the paradise Jesus was giving me. I know it sounds funny to most, but maybe not funny, but inconceivable. You see, hanging on the cross that day next to Jesus, finally I knew a peace I had never felt before. Paradise was immediate. Paradise was fulfilled in my own resurrection that followed.
I have to tell you, I thought I went into this line of work thinking I could remain objective. I see now I have no chance to remain objective.
Do you still think it was Luke's sources who made sure the story was going to leak out?
I'm still thinking.
Some old habits really die hard.
Sometimes we just don't know how empty we are, do we?
And then there are times when it is made so clear.
Go on. I like hearing a happy ending, especially when people see my grace in the midst of all.
Yet even then, something told me as I saw and heard the crowd getting louder and louder, becoming more and more violent with every shout. Something told me the few faces longing to stay faithful in the crowd knew something about Jesus. A man who had done nothing wrong was indeed my God in the flesh as promised. Our blood was hitting the same ground. He knew suffering, and yet, even then, he was reaching out to me.
So how did you know what to say?
That's where me and the Holy Spirit came in.
Of course.
You do not have to be hanging on a cross. You do not have to be down to your last breath to ask Jesus to remember you when he comes into his kingdom. To know, to trust, to believe, to surrender, to celebrate that those words of Christ are spoken for you too. Today, you are with me in paradise.
I'm running out of parchment here, but please finish.
Yet even then, the Spirit was calling out not to stay silent. I needed to be saved from more than a cross, from more than death, from what is empty, scary, lonely, life-draining. With my last breath, I was not going to let this chance at paradise pass me by.
And you, even with all this going on right beside you, you said nothing.
Look, so what? I thought my best chance was the crowd. Are you honestly going to stand there and say you would have done anything differently, Ms. Objectivity?
I'm going to need some help responding to that loaded question. I don't think I could have a good answer on my own.
Anyone still think Luke was the one who sent the sources to tell the story? I didn't think so. Why don't you let me speak through you as we begin to close today's dialogue?
I can do that. As I witnessed the gift of faith given and the gift of faith received and opened wide, this story, your words that day, have been a source of inspiration for me personally and for countless others over the years. Though we must consider, for most of us, even like those here today, we may not think about your words on paradise and remembering us in your kingdom like this more than once or twice a year. And yet, to not hold fast to this gift of faith and hope in paradise each and every day is, well, to not hold on to God's blessing and grace is, well, it's criminal.
Jesus, what if thanks to you, I have discovered all that I was seeking really was empty? What if I have finally realized the crowd is never there for me, only for themselves? What if I was finally beginning to set objectivity aside and ready to believe it is never too late, even for me? What if I joined the words of this fellow believer and cried out, now, at this point, at this late date in my own journey, Jesus, remember me when you come into your kingdom.
Heaven would rejoice, and I would say with great joy and boldness, today you are with me in paradise.
Wow. Did you just see what I just saw? Did you just hear what I just heard? Just like Luke recorded it long ago, it happened again, right in our midst. How amazing is that?
Look around, my friend. You are not just a reporter. You are a witness. You, too, are a first-hand recipient. Print this, take a hold of this, and go tell this. Make this known. The paradise of life-giving, life-changing, life-saving faith alone, give and provide, is happening all around you, all the time, every day.
What a perfect headline.